So in recent years you might have heard more and more about climate change. Well, I decided to make it my school project lol. When you were still a kid you probably heard about the Industrial Revolution, right? Where a lot of industries such as textiles, canal construction, steam engines, factory system, iron production increase. Well, you might say, what's the issue about it? Since some of the new technology will release steam, and unfortunately, steam is a greenhouse gas. It will trap the sun's heat, making the earth warmer. Some sources even suggest that water vapor is actually contributing most to climate change, with more than 50% of the greenhouse gas being it. Although it is true, water vapor is less harmful to the environment and will turn into rain at some point. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and methane are some more commonly heard greenhouse gases, and they do cause more damage to the environment. Especially methane, which is a whopping 80 times more effective at trapping heat than CO2. What factors is causing climate change and what is enhancing the threats of climate change? At school, you might have heard that the thing causing climate change is the burning and use of fossil fuels. True, but did you know that agriculture activities also contribute to climate change? In recent years you might have heard about a movement to stop eating beef. Because cow's fart releases methane. There are still a lot of factors that have contributed to climate change, but in a nutshell, climate change is pretty much unsolvable now since humans still rely on fossil fuels too much. You see, even though the electricity we use now is from the burning of fossil fuels. Why can climate change not be solved? What will happen if it is kept unsolved? Clean energy is a way to solve the problem, but repairing them will take a lot of money, and some governments are not willing or do not have the ability to pay for such a high cost for repairing them. Plus, large fossil fuel companies will probably not want clean energy to become a replacement of fossil fuels. Bad things are going to happen if climate change is kept unsolved. With every Celsius degree of change, the issues we face will amplify dramatically. Now it has risen 1 Celsius already, or 1.8 Fahrenheit. Humanity has faced a worse climate. Winters are not as cold as pre-industrial revolution stages. Climate phenomenons such as El Nino and La Nina are more common than ever. With 2 degrees of change, extreme hot days strike in mid-latitude levels and they will be 4 Celsius higher than pre-industrial levels. With 3, that is where things start to get fun. Effects would be felt differently around the world, but nowhere would be immune. Prolonged heat waves, droughts and extreme weather events could all become increasingly common and severe. You might be wondering, how about 4? It would be one of unprecedented heat waves, severe drought, and major floods in many regions, with serious impacts on human systems, ecosystems, and associated services. The higher it goes, the more water shortage we will face and humanity could perish. Oh no. How can we fix it? What does the Paris Treaty in 2015 do? Since nearly every year is hotter than the previous one in the past 7 to 8 years, in 2015, 193 countries, 192 parties plus the EU, signed the Paris Agreement to work on slowing down climate change. Unfortunately, again, it has failed. With no country as on the role model, only Morocco gained more success when compared to other countries. What are possible ways to stop climate change with people's actions? Maybe you can also help with solving climate change if everyone works together. As an old way of saying, if we try to ride on public transports or with bicycles instead of driving when there is not a critical need, there will already be a good chunk of emissions of greenhouse gases being released in the transportation category. There is no time for people or governments to argue whether or not climate change is a critical issue or is it even real. We should try our best to fight this global issue that could perish humanity. What do people think about climate change? Climate change is what is causing the weather to fluctuate so much, and global warming too. Climate change is a bad thing. my opinions on climate change, as everyone can already feel the weather changes. I believe the situation will only get worse. This is a problem of the well-being of all mankind. However, due to various political and economic factors, the remedies are really limited. I hope more people will wake up and handle it wisely. I think we should deal with climate change ASAP. Climate affects nearly every aspect of our lives, from our food sources to our transport infrastructure, from what clothes we wear, to where we go on holiday. It has a huge effect on our livelihoods, our health, and our future. Climate is the long-term pattern of weather conditions in any particular place. I don't think anyone made it to this point, but anyway, subscribe and share. If there are any copyright issues, I will put this video down as soon as possible. Please wait for another dumb nerd infographics video. Goodbye.